what would be the possibility of having an organized monarchist political movement in the United States? I think it is a necessity, personally, and someone like you would make a great ideologue for it.
Well, you know, if you want to take the place of Mao's Little Red Book in this movement, you've got my Star Spangled Crown, which I recommend you buy by the hundreds. Pass them out. Every college student in America should be clutching his copy, just like they did Mao's Little Red Book in the '60s. So, but well, how do I address that? Well, the way I addressed it in the book. We do not have a single monarchical tradition in this country. Here in the Southwest, of course, we were under the King of Spain. The East, it was the King of Great Britain. The middle states, it was the King of France who sent my first ancestors to this continent. Say nothing of the King of Hawaii, or the Tsar of Russia and Alaska, the King of Denmark and the Virgin Islands. The basic principles of monarchy are partly present already, but, and mind you, don't get me wrong, I'm all for there being further popularized, people studying them, learning about them. What their practical application would be in this country is problematic. And the reason for that is not just that we don't have a single monarchical tradition. It's that we have there's a lot of hurdles we have to get to before we're there. You got to remember that Catholic monarchy was the product of a couple of hundred years of evangelization, 3 or 4 really. It was the Emperor Theodosius the Great who really created it in its modern sense. And mind you, the kings of Armenia, Ethiopia, Syria, Nubia, they had all, and Georgia, had all adopted Christianity as the state religion before Constantine, who only gave us toleration. Theodosius made it the state religion. But we have a ton of issues to get over before that. We're talking about a country where nobody sees a problem with the legislators in California creating a third sex. We're talking about a country where we don't even know what constitutes a human life, or at least our owners don't. We need evangelization more than any political fix, because without it, no political fix will work in the long term. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see a king of the United States, crowned by the Archbishop of Washington at the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception in D.C., with every governor leading us in the state capitals at Corpus Christi, and all that. Oh, absolutely, I'd love to see that. But before you can get up to those high-flying top towers, you've got to build a foundation. That's what Europe had, and what it still has. Latin America even has it, through the French and the Spanish, and actually Canada through the French and the Spanish and Portuguese in Latin America, the French and the British in Canada. All those countries have more of a broken foundation for re-evangelization than we did. That's the problem. And without evangelization, a Catholic monarchy can't work, because there's nothing to hang it on. If the majority of your people are not Catholic, they're not going to take it. They will prefer whatever garbage they create for themselves. So, don't get me wrong. You want to start it? Go right ahead. Explore the ideas behind monarchy, explore monarchist writers of different ages and so forth. But evangelize. You will do more for the good old cause by making converts to the faith than by getting people to drink the health of the king on Friday nights when they get nice and drunk. Trust me on this.
You know what I just was barely reminded of? I was reminded of your question on chivalry.
Uh,
How do we bring chivalry back? And I remember you used a very cute metaphor of the tea cozy. And how do you bring the tea cozy? That's the covering of the tea. Well, you get people to drink tea again. The tea cozy is just a byproduct.
Yeah.
So, is Catholic monarchy merely a byproduct of Catholicism? I mean, is that? I mean, do you go at it directly?
It's a byproduct of the application of Catholicism to public life. The president of Poland last year consecrated Poland to Christ as King and the Immaculate Heart of Mary as Queen. Now this is amazing.
Yeah.
But Poland is further on the way to a true restoration than, say, France.
Yeah.
Although, similarly, in this country, we need to push for precisely that kind of thing. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his justice, and all else shall be added unto you. Now, mutatis mutandis, there was a German writer in the 20s called Murdo Vandenbroek, who cooked up the name Third Reich, which a group of thugs and morons stole. But he made a statement which I've never forgotten. He said, the Germans ceased to have kings when they ceased to be a kingly people.
Ah.
That's a very important thing. There is a certain level on which we really do get the governments we deserve. If you want a king, make this the kind of country that deserves to have a king.
A kingly people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Instead we have a government with whom the majority of the people most of the time are comfortable. They have their birth control.
Yeah.
They have their their 3 squares a day. They have their food stamps. The fact that there are other little annoyances are minor compared to that. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, how far a political party, even the American Solidarity Party, the Constitution Party, would get with banning contraceptives on their platform. Not abortion, which is bad enough.
Yeah.
Contraceptives.
Yeah.
How far would they get?
Nowhere.
No. So, as long as that's the case, don't expect us to be capable of anything higher. It's like demanding to know why a 5-year-old who can't tie his shoes isn't wearing a white tie. I don't get it. Can't you tie your own bow tie, kid? The difference, of course, to extend the metaphor a little bit further, is that this is a 5-year-old who rejected white tie and forgot how to tie his shoes. That's the difference. So.
One other thing I'd mention on this, that this topic brings to mind is a book that Tumblr House is considering publishing by Ralph Adams Cram.
Ah, yes, the great Ralph Adams Cram.
Yeah, I believe it's Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. And I think the premise of the book is he explains the 3 elements for society to be monarchical
and healthy.
And so I just looked at the chapters. I haven't even read the book yet, but I remember one of the elements was monasticism. What were the other 2 elements?
You said they need sacramentalism, i.e., the sacraments, of course, but not just them alone, but the application of the sacramental ideal to everyday life. Good, by which he meant scholastic philosophy, going back to the question of Bellarmine, and monasticism, that is to say, a goodly chunk of the population praying constantly for the good and well-being of their fellow citizens.
Those are 3 solid things to work for, right there.
Yeah. So, again, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his justice, and all these will be added unto you.